Hey, are you a new freelance writer? Are you trying to find a freelance writing job? Well, as a beginner, one of the best things you can do is using freelance writing job boards. And I'm going to share with you the best things about freelance writing job boards for 2020. Okay, here we go. My name is Elna from elnacain.com, and I've been a freelance writer for many years, and I'm also a mom to twins. All right. And when I first started as a freelance writer, I used job boards and I landed my best client. And then from there, everything started snowballing and rolling around with referring clients and networking and inbound tactics and all that. So it came really good. So for a lot of people, if you're brand new, I think job boards are really good. Okay. So let me go. I have my notes down here through some tips so that you can be successful with job boards, because there are a lot of not legit jobs out there, and you want to be wary of that. You want to have the knowledge so that that doesn't happen to you, that you fall for that. All right. So the first step for a new freelance writer is to develop a pitching process. All right. So this is where you need to sit down. You need to investigate all the job boards that you're going to visit. You're going to have a piece of paper, a planner, use Trello, something to document your pitches and where you're pitching to. All right. And also you're going to give yourself a time frame. All right. I think that's the best thing, so that you have sort of a goal, and there's a beginning and an end to your pitching, because as a freelance writer, you're not going to be constantly pitching for like years and years and years. That just can't happen. And if you find yourself having to constantly pitch after 6 months, 10 months, then there is another way, right? And that's what I've been doing. I'm a mom to twins. I can't be constantly cold pitching. I can't be constantly pitching magazines. I can't be constantly pitching brands. I need another way to attract clients. And I found that method. So you can always visit elnacain.com to learn those marketing tactics, as well as enroll in Write Your Way to Your First 1K, my premium course that teaches you that exact strategy. But I do know that in the beginning, you do have to hustle and you have to get out there. So having that goal in mind is helpful. So I like to choose 10 pitches a day for 10 days. Try that. Try to send 10 pitches a day. You can decide if they're all going to be cold pitching, if it's going to be job board pitching, if it's going to be warm pitching on social media, if it's going to be guest post pitching, whatever you use to fulfill those 10 pitches, because you can visit job boards every day and you can visit multiple job boards every day, but you may not find 10 gigs a day for 10 days to pitch to. All right. So you might have to broaden your requirements of what a pitch is and what you're going to be sending. Okay. But I find that that's a good metric. And once you get in the habit of doing that, you're going to want to do that more. So you might take a break and then go again for another 10 days. I'm not going to guarantee you that you're going to land your gig within that first stint, but some people do. The very first pitch they send, they land the gig. Other people, it takes them hundreds of pitches, thousands of pitches to land the gig. So it all is depending on the market at that time, your credibility, your market savviness. There's a lot of things in play, but I'm hoping that these tips can help you so that you can, again, land that gig quickly. All right. So I have developed a pitching process. Number 2, check and apply often to job boards. So when you see job ads, don't wait around. So let's say right before work, you check the job boards and you see a couple of job ads that you're like, okay, there's some potential here, but you're running late. You have to jet. And you tell yourself, well, I'm going to pitch that when I get home at like 6 o'clock after dinner, I'll pitch to them. Well, that's too late, right? As the saying goes, the early bird catches the worm. Sorry, it's a little bit late here, so I'm lost for thought right now. But yes, the early bird catches the worm. So any job that you see in the morning, you need to pitch to that job that time, because you are in competition with a lot of other writers that are doing the same thing, and they are on different time, on a time frame as well, right? They might be on the East Coast or the West Coast. They might be in another country, applying to that same gig. So ideally, I like to check the same job board twice a day. So in the morning and right before bed. Usually that's when you're going to get new leads. They're going to be posted at that time. All right. So if you have 5 job boards you're going to go to, check each one in the morning and give yourself a good 30 minutes so that you can invest in pitching and looking at all those potential gigs. Okay. So that might mean just waking up a half hour early before work. All right. Number 3 is make your pitch about the client and less about you. Now, in my other video, I did talk about how you can sell yourself on your writer website. And one of the big things is not really talking about you, but talking about the client and how you can help the client with your service and your writing. It goes the same with your pitch. So I have an example. I just wrote it down. So sorry if I'm looking down right here. So instead of saying something like, I'm an expert dog writer who's been published on Dog Fancy, right? That's very internal. That's very me. You can flip that around so that it can connect with the client even better. So you can say something like, my 2 years experience writing for Dog Fancy gives me a valuable edge because I'm able to give you and your readers the content that they crave, right? Wow. How is that? Like, that totally just flipped the story. So instead of like telling everyone, well, I'm the expert this and I've been published on that, you can flip that around and use that, the expertise, because you are an expert, you've been published, you've done this, as a way to help that client feel comfortable in hiring you because you have the credibility to write for them, because you've written on Dog Fancy. You know how to write for dog lovers, right? So try that tactic in your pitch, all right? It might mean taking a few minutes to sort of reword your sentences, but that should work in showing your value as a writer to help that business grow. All right. The next tip is to be human and not salesy. Now, it's hard. In a pitch, you only have really a finite little area, right? You don't want the pitch to be too long. So you have a small area to really sell yourself as a writer. So you do want like every sentence to be a marketing tactic to like say, look, I can help you with this and this and this, and I'm this and this. But you got to remember that these marketers, since they're posting on job boards, they're going to get hundreds and hundreds of submissions. All right. So for your pitch to stand out, try being a little bit human. Try telling a story in the beginning. Don't make it too wordy. Don't make it too long. But, I like to always start some of my pitches, not all of them, but especially pitches that for brands that I really want to write for. I might say, I've been a long-time reader. I really love what you're doing with your blog. If it's something personal that I've related, so let's pretend that I want to write for the company that makes the Grow Clock. I use the Grow Clock for my twins. My twins absolutely love it. I love it because they follow the Grow Clock. When it's blue, they don't get out of bed, even though they wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. They go back to bed until the sun is on the glow clock. It's a visual timer. And then they're able to get out of bed. So I can share a quick story about that to show them that, yes, I know your brand very well. And I'm also a writer and I can write for you. Right. So if you can craft a little bit of humanness in your pitch, and then you can get into the marketing aspect of selling yourself, that combination can do well in your pitch. All right. And then the last tip for job boards, there's still a bit more after this, but the last tip for being successful on job boards is to avoid using a template as much as possible. Now, if it's a busy day and you have your standard pitch template, you can go ahead. I mean, it's better to send a template pitch than to not send a pitch. But if you do have that time, try to make each pitch customized for that brand. Like I said, telling a story about that, how you relate to that brand. It has to be different for each pitch. All right. And if you're applying to different topics as well, you're going to have a different type of pitch, right? Each brand is going to have a different reason why they're hiring a writer. Is it because they need to fill their content? Is it because they want to use it for marketing tactics? Is it because they want to rank in Google? Is it because they want to share it on social media? It's different reasons why they hire a writer. If you can find that reason, then you can use that as leverage for your pitch. All right, so let's look at some job postings to stay away from. You know, sometimes the job ad you think is too good to be true really is too good to be true. So in order to protect yourself and your money, let's try to stay clear of these types of job posts. So the first one, if you see in a job ad that anyone is asking for a Skype interview. Now, I know this sounds very benign and very safe. I mean, I use Skype to talk to potential clients as well. I do. But they are vetted. I know that person. They might be in a Facebook group of mine. Like I know that person, so I feel comfortable talking to them on Skype. But I don't if it's in a job ad. Just try to say no to those Skype interviews, since most of these can be phishing scams. All right. Those are the ones that might be not legit, and this can just be a waste of time. Usually clients can decide if they want you to write for them through a few emails. And I usually get most of my gigs through emails. It's very rare that a client wants also to talk to me through a video chat or through like the phone. I think I've only had maybe 2 in the 5 years of being a freelance writer. So you can get hired very easily just through email. All right. So just try to stay away from Skype interviews. The next type of gig is clients who will pay you to get published on high authority sites. All right. Some clients, they want ghostwriters to write articles for top websites like Forbes or Huffington Post on their behalf. Okay, the problem is that the client doesn't already have an established relationship with the publication, and they're looking for you to do all of that dirty work. They want you to pitch to HuffPost to see if that client can be a writer for them. They want you to pitch to Forbes so that that client can be a writer for Forbes. Right? It is not your responsibility as a freelance writer to do that. Now, if the client, that potential client, has already have that established relationship with Forbes, is already writing for those publications, and they can give you examples of that, then yes, you can be a ghostwriter for them, and that is highly profitable. I've done that, and that's a great gig to have. But if it's a job ad that specifically says that they want a ghostwriter for them, and they don't have a relationship with those big sites, do not take on that work. It is not necessary as a freelance writer, and you do not need that job. All right. Try to stay away from jobs that are cheap and demanding. So if someone is offering to pay pennies per word and has a long list of requirements and demands, you need to quickly move on. All right. This is not what freelance writing is about. Some people fall into this. And when I first started, I did fall into this. I was writing for content mills. I was writing for, I think I made like $1.26 for like 3 or 5 hours of work. And I'm like, is this really freelance writing? Like, this is not what I envisioned a freelance writer. And I'm so glad that I found the way, that clients actually value your worth, will give you enough time to write your content, and will refer you to other potential brands and other networks of people that they know. Okay. These clients that just don't value you and they want cheap content, they're impossible to please. They are never satisfied. They always want rewrites. You don't want to work with those clients. If you end up falling and landing a client like that, and then down the road they become this type of like client from hell. Be nice, do the rewrites, do whatever you can, and hopefully they're satisfied. But after that, let them go. Okay. You always want to end your relationships with potential clients on a good note. You do not want to burn bridges, no matter how horrible those clients are. Trust me, I've had them, but I always go and I don't burn bridges, because you never know who they know. You never know their contacts, and you never know down the road you might come across them somehow, right? So just don't end on a bad, sour note. All right, so those are what to avoid. And then let's look at some actual job boards here. I've been talking and teasing you, and I haven't even shown you any job boards. So a free job board is ProBlogger. ProBlogger is an awesome blog. They have a podcast. They have a lot of resources for bloggers, but they also have a job board. So you can take a look at this job board. The ones here, like with this blue background and this little blue background, are the most freshest jobs. All right. They're the most new, I guess. So you can quickly take a look here. They give you a little bit of like what type of work it is and what type of service you're providing. A lot of these are blog writing or copywriting, right? And you can see once you click on you can get some ideas. So relationship and online dating experts wanted. Let's see what they want here. Right? So you go and you look at the description. Do you like research dating psychology? Well, I like psychology. I have a BA in psychology. So if I was like someone that was brand new, I'm going to try and find ways to fit this job requirement. Are you familiar with popular dating apps or sites? Sure, it's not that hard to research popular dating apps and use them for research. Why not? Do you love writing? Yes, I am a freelance writer. If you answered yes to these questions, then read on. And so they talk about their media company, all right, that runs a number of blogs. This could be a potential red flag that they're trying to find a lot of writers that are cheap. So, I mean, you got to read into it and read in between the lines here. They want an expert relationship writer. Okay. Yada, yada. They go on here. So they don't want no fakers here. So if you don't truly have a passion for relationship advice and online dating, then this is not the work for you. As a freelance writer, I'm pretty sure that I can find the passion to write about relationship advice. It's not something that is far-fetched for me. All right. So I wouldn't be afraid to pitch to this job, and neither should you. So requirements. They want 3 years writing experience. You know what? You don't have to touch that in your pitch. If you show online that you have a writer website, that you have a portfolio page with guest posts, with other posts that you've, show on your portfolio page, writing samples, this is irrelevant. So please don't let that stop you from pitching. Just don't note it in your pitch that you have X amount of experience. Show them that you're an expert freelance writer in the relationship advice. Here, take a look at my portfolio. I've written for this and this. I have a writing sample on the love languages, the 5 love languages, and then you can talk about, you can craft it so that you can look like, that's irrelevant, right? So they pay 7 cents a word. It is on the low end, but they're upfront. But for a brand new writer, that could be a potential. Consistent workload every week, 4,000 words. So I'm not sure if that's one post or multiple posts. If it's multiple posts, I mean, that's doable. I wouldn't do a 4,000 word post for 7 cents a word personally. But yeah, so you can take a look and see, is this something for me? Can I craft a pitch and show my credibility in this niche, right? So ProBlogger, not bad, right? Another one is Blogging Pro. Blogging Pro has jobs. So you can go to their blogging jobs and you can search whatever you want. You can also just type in keywords, like if you want to do anything with pets or do anything with like knitting. I don't know. Let's do pets. Entertainment correspondent. Let's do, I don't know, garden. Nothing for gardening. Oh, Bitcoin. Nothing for Bitcoin. I mean, you can see whatever niche topics that you're interested in. Tech. So here's some tech. Freelance tech review writer, right? This was posted 1 week ago. So you can take a look and see there's a mental health blogger. Yeah, there's some gigs out there, right? Take a look and see. This is a free job board. Another one is freelancewriting.com. They have a job board. And what's nice is that they actually curate from all these sources. So from Blogging Pro that we just saw, from Indeed, Craigslist, from freelance blogging jobs, freelance job openings, all of these. So there's even more job boards that you can look at if you wanted to, but freelance writing curates all of those jobs. And so you can just take a look here. And then all freelance writing jobs. So allfreelancewriting.com has a small job board. And what's nice about this job board is that it sort of gives you quickly the level of pay. So is it low pay? Is it semi-pro? Is it pro, right? So that can help you. So there's some nice here. There's an online quiz writer. So these jobs are vetted from a Jen here that runs all freelance writing. So you're not going to get like really low paying gigs or poor quality writing gigs. You're going to get some good gigs here. So take a look at that. And then finally, there's Contena. Now, Contena is a premium job board, but the one thing that I really love about Contena is that a lot of their gigs are very high paying, and I can quickly find my gigs just by their filter here, marketing. Right? So I can go right here and look at the marketing. They also tell you if there's some gigs that are low rate. And then they tell me immediately the pay. $2,000 a month, perfect. $6,000 a month, great. $3,000, I mean, it goes on and on and on here that I can go and look on Contena and find a really good gig if I want to do email campaign writing. And what's so neat is that there's so many different types of gigs. If you want to be a lifestyle writer, Contena has a lot of lifestyle gigs for you. They have a travel camping writer, a sports and fitness blogger. There's travel, a firearm blogger. You can talk about firearms and get paid for that. Shopping reviewer, life stories writer, environmental green living writer, wedding plan writer. There are so many. Here's a fashion one for $5,000 a month. There are so many different potential jobs and so many different niches with Contena that's one of the reasons why I love Contena, even though it's a premium job board. So I'm going to post in the show notes my review of Contena. So take a look at that and see if this is a job board for you, because even though you can go to these free job boards that I've mentioned, you do have to use your time wisely and weed through all those gigs. A lot of them are going to be low paying, and there's going to only be a few that are top tier gigs on those job boards. But with Contena, that's all you're getting for the most part. Of course, there's going to be a couple low paying, but the majority are high paying. All right, everyone. So that is freelance blogging job boards in a nutshell. I hope these tips helped you. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click that notification button so that you can get notified when I drop a new video. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.